seconds. humble. Wholeheartedly, we beseech the favor of you, who is entering nirvana in this latter age, as the original disciple superior practice, the great founder Nichiren, the great Bodhisattva. Now we burn incense in regard to the precepts, meditation, and emancipation. May the light and fragrant cloud of this incense pervade the Dharma world. We offer this incense to the countless Buddhas of the worlds of the 10 directions. May we be able to see and partake of the fragrance of the world of tranquil extinction. Shoeizan. Please turn to page 5. Invocation. Honor be to the great mandala, the perfect circle of all honorable ones, revealed by our founder Nichiren Shonin. Honor be to the eternal Buddha Shakyamuni, our original teacher, the Lord of the Dharma, our great benefactor who attained enlightenment in the remotest past. Honor be to the Sutra of the Lotus Flower, the wonderful Dharma, the teaching of equality, the great wisdom, the one vehicle. Honor be to our founder, the great Bodhisattva Nichiren Shonin, dispatched by our original Buddha. Honor be to Enkyoji Eishiki Shonin, the first overseas missionary. Honor be to the protective deities of the Dharma. We honor all of you. May you come to this consecrated place out of your compassion towards us. See us to the light of your wisdom and accept our offering of chanting the sutra and Hallelujah. Please turn to page 9. Verses for opening the sutra. The most profound and wonderful teaching is presented in this sutra. This sutra is difficult to meet even once in thousands and millions of aeons. Now we have been able to see, hear, receive, and keep this sutra. May we understand the most excellent teaching of the Tathagata. The most excellent teaching of the great vehicle is very difficult for us to understand. We shall be able to approach enlightenment when we see, hear, or touch this sutra. Expounded is the Buddha's wisdom. Expounded is the Buddha's truth. The letters composing this sutra are the Buddha's manifestations. Just as perfume is taught by something put nearby, so shall we be richly benefited by this sutra, even when we are not aware of being so benefited, because infinite merits are accumulated in this sutra. We can expiate our past transgressions, do good deeds, and attain Buddhahood by the merits of this sutra. It does not matter whether we are wise or not, or whether we believe the sutra or slander it. This sutra is the most wonderful and most excellent taught by the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. May we meet and receive it, birth after birth, world after world. Page 11. O Enkyo, Oben Online ni. Iji se sanju sanmayan shoni kido shai hasu shogu shie jin jin muro koshi ewan ange namyu nisai showan yabushi usu shogu no shi shori shara usu no shindon yabusen Mando Yushu Shosu Jinyo Shosu Yo Ho Yo Shoshin Yo Shosu Wan Yoshu Jin Jin Nizo Ho Shi So Setsu Jishu Nange Shari Hosu Koshu Yo Buchi Ai Shuju En Shuju You Oen Mon Yo Mushu Oen Indo Shujo Yori Shotaku Shori Shada Norai Oen Chiken Harisu Kai Guru Soku Shai Osu Yorai Chiken Kodai Jinnon Muro Muge
Shoei Enkyoji Buddhist Sanmai Kinyu Sai Kyoju Kisai Nijo Oshari Otsu Kyodai no Kyuju Bundesu Kyosei Sho Onji Yunan Eka Shushin Shari Otsu Kyujo Onji Kuryo Buen Nijo Ruo Kyushu Shi Shari Otsu Kyuju Setsu Shoi Shaya Busho Joju Dai Ichikeru Mange Shito Ribusu Jobusu Dai no Kujin Shoji So Shoi Sho Jose So Jose Sho Jose Tai Jose Riki Jose Sa Jose In Jose En Jose Ka Jose Ho Jose Hon Masu Kyuto Hon Shoi Sho Hon Jose So Jose So Jose Tai Jose Riki Jose Sa Jose En Jose En Jose Ka Jose Ho Jose Hon Masu Kyuto Hon Shoi Sho Jose So Jose So Jose Tai Jose Riki Jose Sa Jose In Jose En Jose Ka Jose Ho Jose Hon Masu Kyuto Horo.
Boring Enkyo, Orai Juro, Ondai Jurogu, Jiga Toku Jurai,
Shokyo Shoko Shuryo Yaku Senman Osaya Sogi Yosen Tokyo Ken Mushu Mushu Yoke Obusu no Nirai Yoko Ido Shujoko Omen Yenye Han Ichisu Mesu Dojo Jushi Seppo Nado Juoshi Shojin Juri Rohen no Shuro Shrimon Nifugen Shuten Yamesu no Oku Yoshai Enkai no Nisho Katsu Roshin Shujo Kishin Yunan Kishin Yoku Kendo Shukuji Shakushin Yoki Da Shushu So Shushu Yoku Senkai To Shujo Josai Shiku Mesu Iho Ben Riki Koken Yunesu Funesu Jokoku Shujo Yugyo Shingyo Shaka Muro Ichu Isetsu Muro Yobo Kubon Shi Anki Yamesu Roka Kensho Shujo Osunayo Kukai Koku Genshin Yobo Shokasu Go Jino Shinendo Nai Shitsui Seppo Jinju Ikinoze Oaso Kiko Josai Joju Senkyu Yosho Shusho Shujo Kenko Shin Daika Shosho Chigashi Jo Anon Tenrin Joju Anon Rin Shoto Gaku Shuju Osho Oju Take Shujo Shoju Gaku Shoten Gaku Tenku Josa Shuji Gaku Mandara Kesan Musu Dai Shuja Jodo Fuki Nishu Nensho Yutu Shoku no Jose Shuju Mante Shokai Shujo Igaku Go Inen Ka Sogi Go Tu One San Go Yo No Shu Shu Yu Wa Shi Shi Sokai Kenya Shinzai Shi Seppo Amuji Ishi Shu Setsu Chu Muryo Kunai Ken Musha Isetsu Butsu Nanchi Dachi Riki no Se Eko Sho Muryo Muryo Mushu Ko Kushu Ko Sho Kun Kyoto Uchi Sha Moko Shi Sho Ji To Han Yo Yo Jin Butsu Ko Chi Bu Ko No Ni Zen Ho Den Chi Chi Yo Shi Ko Jitsu Zai Ni Fun Shin Bu No Se Ko Mo Ga Yaku I Se Bu Ku Sho Ku Gen Sha I Wan No Zen No Jitsu Zai Ni Fun Natsu I Jo Ken Na Ko Ni Sho Kyo Shi Shin O Jitsu Jaku Go Yoku Da O Aku Do Chu Ta Yo Shi Shu Yo Kyo Do Fu Yo Do Sui Yo Sho Ka No I Se Shu Ju Ho Mai Ji Sa Se Ren I Ra Ro Shu Jo Ru Ju Ju Jo Do
Let's turn to page 49. The Sutra of the Lotus Flower of the Wonderful Dharma, Chapter 21, The Supernatural Powers of the Tathagata. The Buddhas, the world saviors, have great
supernatural powers. They display their immeasurable supernatural powers in order to cause all living beings to rejoice. The tips of their tongues reach the heaven of Brahman. Innumerable rays of light are emitted from their bodies for those who are seeking the enlightenment of the Buddha. The Buddhas do these things rarely to be seen. The sound of coughing of the Buddhas and the sound of their fingers snapping reverberate over the worlds of the 10 quarters and the grounds of those worlds waves in the 6 ways. The Buddhas joyfully display their immeasurable supernatural powers because the Bodhisattvas from underground vow to keep this sutra after my extinction. Even if I praise for innumerable kalpas, the keeper of this sutra to whom it is to be transmitted, I cannot praise him highly enough. His merits are as limitless, as infinite, as boundless as the skies of the worlds of the 10 quarters. Anyone who keeps this sutra will be able to see me. He also will be able to see many treasures. Buddha, the Buddhas of my replicas, and the Bodhisattvas whom I have taught today. Anyone who keeps this sutra will be able to cause me to rejoice. He also will be able to bring joy to the Buddhas of my replicas, and also to many treasures. Buddha who once passed away, he also will be able to see the present, past, and future. Buddhas of the worlds of the 10 quarters make offerings to them and cry cause them to rejoice. The Buddha sat at the place of enlightenment and obtained the hidden core. Anyone who keeps this sutra will be able to obtain the same before long. Anyone who keeps this sutra will be able to expound the meanings of the teachings and the names and words of this sutra. Their eloquence will be as boundless and as unhindered as the wind in the sky. Anyone who understands why the Buddhas expound many sutras, who knows the position of this sutra in the series of sutras, and who expounds it after my extinction according to its true meaning, will be able to eliminate the darkness of the living beings of the world, where he walks about just as the light of the sun and the moon eliminates all darkness. He will be able to cause innumerable bodhisattvas to dwell finally in the one vehicle. Therefore, the man of wisdom who hears the benefits of these merits and who keeps this sutra after my extinction will be able to attain the enlightenment of the Buddha definitely and doubtlessly.
The leader, the Doshi, of the latter age of the Dharma, the eye of the worlds of gods and men, the successor of the teachers of India and China, was born in Japan. Taught a very special teaching that stands apart from all others. He examined all the various teachings with the Lotus Sutra in one hand and his whole shoe in the other. Bodhisattvas in other lands don't know about this. He who received the special transmission on Sacred Eagle Peak alone saved others in the impure latter age of the Dharma. He overcame many perils. Though he was heedless of his own life, his life was restored to him. Sweet tea fell upon his hosu. His words of praise to the Buddha stopped the clouds. The heavenly gods and dragon kings heard this Dharma and were all the more eager to listen. How can we praise him enough? How can we praise him enough? Honor be to our original teacher, superior practice, Bodhisattva. Today's Sokun from Huanzhou is entitled Widespread Compassion. With Nichiren's boundless compassion, Amu-myo Horenge-kyo will be heard forever, even beyond the 10,000-year period. It has the merit of curing the blindness of all people in Japan and the world, blocking the way to hell. This merit is superior to those of Dengyo, Tientai, Nagarjuna, Asyapa. Practice for 100 years in the Pure Land is not worth the merit of chanting the Daimoku for one day in this defiled world. Propagation of the Daimoku in a 2,000-year period following the death of the Buddha is not worth as much as spreading the Daimoku for even a short while in the latter age of the generation. This is not from my wisdom. It is solely due to the time in which I live. In spring, flowers bloom. In autumn, fruits ripen. In summer, it is warm. And in winter, it is cold. They all go along with the laws of nature. This place is named in Dasho. We're changing the old Bible. Amu-myo Renge-kyo.
Amu-myo Renge-kyo. Amu-myo Renge-kyo. Amu-myo Renge-kyo.
Difficulty of retaining this. Ichonanji Naguzanji Shaka Soku Hanji Shobutsu Yakunen Yosei Nen Shobutsu Shohan Seisoku Yo Seisoku Shonen Enkyoji Buddhist Shoichi Kokujo Futsuno Yomo Daise Kokuji no Seishin Bushi Shujun Denji Mutsumetsu no Nitegogi Seisho Tennen Seiken Shigen Okui Se Koshu Yusetsu Isai Tennen Karo Kudo. Please place your hands in your shoulders. For today's text. Today at this temple, we humbly conduct this ceremony to extol the 738th anniversary of our founder's parinirvana. We adorn this place of practice and prepare incense, flowers, and candles. We, the clergy and the lay followers who share his faith, hold this ceremony with deep respect in order to return his great favor. We most humbly consider that our founder received the transmission from the stupa of treasures and was born in Japan. It was the time of the beginning of the latter age of the Dharma, when the Buddha Dharma is misrepresented and there is much confusion, so that the true purpose of the Buddha's appearance is forgotten. The secular world becomes disordered and chaotic, so that the three disasters and the seven calamities all appear, one after the other. That's why he tried to establish the right teaching, to make the country peaceful. He hung the banner of the five characters and preached to the people. In the streets, he admonished the shogunate without regard for his life. He expounded the five precepts for the propagation, teaching, capacity, time, country, and sequence, and cut off the weeds of wrong views held by all the other schools. He established this wonderful school of the three secrets of the original gate. He clarified the great truth of what can be relied upon in the latter age of the Dharma. He spoke or remained silent, depending upon the time. He expounded his teaching in an orderly manner. His lifetime of propagation was 61 years. He ordered his grandson in the Dharma, Nichizo, to propagate in the capital. Peacefully, he passed away without any actual passing. How great the favor of his Dharma. How can we praise him enough? Honor be to our original teacher, superior practice, the great founder, Nichiren Dai Bosatsu, Nichiren Dai Shonen. May Nichiren Shonen accept our great gratitude, and to him, out of his great love and great compassion towards us. Today we remember all those in sickness and distress, all the members of this temple, past, present, and future. Today we remember in sickness and distress, Gail Gold and Barbara Hardaway, Yoshio and Fran Parker, Catherine May, Ricky Thibault, James Hempsey, Ellen Lawson, Aaron Floyd, Tessie Floyd, Derek Floyd, Bush Floyd, Jane Foreman Tartaro, Charles D. Cedarman, Hope Osier. We also remember those in memoriam. We remember the Hardaway family, the Kroll and Crane families, the Winter and Sparks families, the Valentin family, Jack Parker, Bigelow and Johnson families, the Schoaf and Thibault families, the Winooski and Krasnowski families, Daniel Mayer, Cheryl Cushman, the Fay family, the Rebus family, Kazuko Jordan, the Cedarman and Kobayashi families, the Morrissey family, the Jordan family, the Abad family, the Kazmarsky family, the Knopp family. We remember James Conklin and Sumiko Suzuki, Dennis Sullivan and Terry Paypoint,
Bill Mears Sensei, and Mark Sensei. Errol Scott, Wayne, Linda Williams, Aunt Barbara, Michael Maffei, David Spence, the Adams family, and all those who have no one to pray for them. Amen. He saved four great vows of the Bodhisattva. Shujomu Hensei Gando.
Sentient beings are innumerable. I vow to save them all.
Om no Mushu Segandan.
Our defilements are inexhaustible. I vow to quench them all.
Omon Mujin Seganchi.
The Buddha's teachings are immeasurable. I vow to save them all.
Utsudo Mujo Seganjo.
The way of the Buddha is unexcelled. I vow to attain the path sublime.
With this body.
Until I attain Buddhahood, I shall maintain my faith in the Lotus Sutra. Amen.
Venerable ones, remember us. Be ready, like and unavailable. Place your hands in whole Kali Jomi, Cosmic Deepa. Silent meditation. Meditation on the One Dharma, precious. Nichiren Shonin passed away at a very young age of 61 years old. He, although he escaped all of his many persecutions that he received due to his faith in the Buddhist Sutra, he was not unmarred by it. It affected his health. Years of harsh conditions in incarceration, Sado Island, as well as East Peninsula, as well as by the shogunate, took their toll on him. After his third time remonstrating the government, he had read in the sutra that he tried 3 times, retired to a quiet place. So he retired to Mount Minobu, which was an area that was offered to him by a loyal samurai who was a practitioner. And it is a beautiful valley. I was there this past February. However, the sun doesn't always fall into the valley, so it's quite cold. And so the snow stays there much longer than in the other areas around there. As a result, it is damp. It is a bit moist. And it took its toll over the 10 years that Nichiren Shonin was at Minobu-san. And it really started to affect his health. And his followers begged him to please go to a hot spring at Ikegami, near what is now modern day Tokyo, to recuperate. And he consented. On his way, he was taken very ill with dysentery, and he became weaker and weaker. He knew his time was coming. So they stopped at a samurai's home, which later became Ikegami Temple, near Tokyo, on the way to the hot springs. And there he gave his final sermon to his disciples, and he intentionally left the mantle of leadership open. 6 major disciples, he didn't name a successor, and that was on purpose. When I was in Japan, I got to touch a piece of the pillar that he held on to when he was giving his sermon. We have it in a temple, a small little temple in the same spot. It's hanging in the middle, wrapped in all this stuff, but they have one piece that you're allowed to touch. It's smooth as glass when people touch it. They put my geisha on it, the cloth the pilgrim's cloth for you, you put that on it too. And it was just really amazing, you know. And what's interesting is one of Nichiren Shonin's final requests on his deathbed was to please take care of the horse that brought him there, because the horse was such a nice horse that it should be taken care of. So even on his deathbed, he was thinking about a horse, you know, and I think about that. When he passed away late in the evening, and after he passed in the morning, it said that the blossoms of the trees bloomed in October, which to this day they still do in that same location. And apparently, currently in Japan, they're blooming all over the place. So unseasonably, because of some warm weather due to the typhoon. But what I think about a lot is how this very humble man became a monk at 15 years old with one question. There was only one historical figure, Shakyamuni Buddha. How come there were so many teachings? What was he trying to say? And then he spent the rest of his life trying to figure that out. When he did, he fearlessly and unabashedly shared it with everyone else. In the same way that the Buddha fearlessly and unabashedly stood up from underneath the Bodhi tree and turned to the Dharma. And that's something that we should all take for ourselves, is that this is not an easy path. Chapter 13 tells us that it will be difficult. The practitioner of the Dharma is going to receive some sort of hardship. And I think this is kind of a reminder to us that all of us are going to experience some sort of hardship or suffering. And nobody likes to hear that everybody's equal, that all beings are the same. All beings have the infinite capacity. Somehow this is a controversial teaching. I don't know why, but this really upsets people at times when you take away their opportunity to have division and separation from others, to be special in some way or another. You tell them that everybody's special. It can be a little controversial. So I think about this man on this particular day and how much he went through just for this teaching to end up here. And I'm also reminded of the fact that when we are chanting together, we are upholding his vow as one of the Bodhisattvas from under the earth. And that our mandala is the gateway into the serpent in the air, where we are all Bodhisattva from under the earth, attending to this sermon of the Lotus Sutra that the Buddha is sharing with us, and vowing that we will share it in the latter age of generation with other beings and help other beings and fulfill the mission that he sent. In the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha says that if somebody honors his ashes, great, awesome. But someone who honors a practitioner of the Lotus Sutra in the latter age of the generation, much more merit. That's you. You're the Bodhisattva from under the earth. You're the ones who are going out there and sharing this Dharma with other people, doing the good work for the Buddha as his messenger. He tells us in the Lotus Sutra that you're given the eloquence necessary and all the support needed by every entity, being, God, spirit, and person. They're here to support you because you're sharing this wonderful Dharma. And you are all here because of your own merit. You have this infinite connection to the sutra, and you keep coming back to it, incarnation after incarnation after incarnation. I was just yesterday in a psychiatric facility, ministering to someone in the facility, in the forensics wing, who has contacted me about a situation with Shoeizan and has come to Buddhism. And when I walked through, I saw Ichi and Sanzen everywhere. I saw all the states of mind. I walked through the gaki, the hungry ghosts, all around me, and it made me feel that I need to work harder. To pray for more beings, to be of more service to more beings. Because those beings too, because I chanted while I walked through and I chanted to each person I met, that's their merit, right? They came to the sutra because of their own merit, not because Kanyu was something special and just happened to show up at the right place at the right time. Like, that was their merit. They're supposed to hear it. And what I humbly realize is that I'm a messenger sent by the Buddha, following the footsteps of my teacher, Nichiren Shonin, out there trying to do the good work, sharing the Lotus Sutra with other beings so that they can share the Lotus Sutra with other beings, so that thereby we can create more Buddhas in this world, in the Saha world now, in the latter age of generation. Nichiren Shonin talks about all of these calamities that beset this country and such, but we can see these same calamities besetting our country. We can see racial division. We can see, people even talking about, as silly as it may be, talking about civil war and things like that. We can see hurricanes and disasters and all of these things besetting our country. I'm not a reactionary to say that, this is because people aren't following the Lotus Sutra, but I will say that our behavior is not following our practice as a society. And we have to take a karmic responsibility for that. Even if we don't feel like we're officially responsible for certain things, we have to take karmic responsibility. We're in the same society that helped to create these causes and conditions, so we're a party to them as well. So what we're doing here has input out there. Lotus seed in captivity can only be grown by scarring the outside of the seed and soaking it in beautiful, clean, perfect water, anything in it. But the irony is it will swell to twice its size and die if you leave it here. That's all of us. We're all coming to this practice as as these lotus seeds that have these hard coats, and the only way that the cool water gets to us is if that coat has been scarred, marred, scratched, cut, cracked in some way. We're all messed up in some way. We've all known suffering, but because we've all known suffering, we're all seeking the cooling water of the Dharma to eliminate suffering. Right? But then within the process, we understand that it's not freedom from suffering, it's freedom in suffering. And so we soak in the cooling water of the Dharma here in this temple, but if it just stays here, it never actually sprouts. It never goes out there and creates more lotuses. We have to go put that seed into the muck and mire of everyday life amongst everybody else, right? In order for it to really blossom, for it to really grow. So when you're struggling with whatever, mental difficulties, emotional difficulties, monetary difficulties, whatever it may be, this is part of the process. You're already assured in the mind, everything that you're dealing with is part of that process. It's all empty, it's all void. To teach and preach the Dharma, we must first enter the ring of the Tathagata and have great compassion. Put on the rope at the Tathagata and have great patience. And sit on the seat of the Tathagata and realize the voidness of all things. We aren't just doing this for ourselves, we're doing this for all sentient beings. And following the footsteps of our founder, Enkyoji Buddhist, on this particular day, more than just about any other, that's what I focus on. How can I cause all sentient beings to enter into the answer? That's what I'm doing. Thank you very much for being here today, for sharing this special holiday for us. This is our 5th Oeishiki, so it's pretty exciting that our congregation has grown. I mean, gracious, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 2 they could have been here, but there was a baby situation. So that's pretty amazing. We're really growing. I also want to thank everyone for coming early, for putting hands on the oars and rowing the ship. This is not, our Enkyoji lineage is not a minister-led lineage. It's not meant to be, at least. It's meant to be a lay-led organization. Each of you is empowered to do the good work that needs to be done. We have a speaker series today at 1 o'clock. Dr. Joshua Keeler is going to be here. He's going to talk about blood flow and body mechanics. Followed by next month, we will have Kristen Groman, who's an herbalist, will be coming. Followed, I believe, by an organic farmer who's coming after that. So we're going to be having a monthly series, again, to kind of nurture the Bodhisattva spirit in every being. If you know anyone, or if you personally would like to be a speaker, or have something you'd like to share, please tell us. The other thing is that this is organic Buddhism. The things that this temple does as far as outreach for the community, as far as projects, they should be led by the lay people. So if you have an idea for anything, whether it's reaching out to the public to share Buddhism, or just some sort of passionate club type organization, or anything that you want to do Dharma related, please tell me. Tell the temple. We can support you. We have funds for this. We have passion. We have other people who may have the same interest. But please jump in and feel free to get your hands dirty. All right. So we're going to line up for a picture today, and then we have lunch afterwards. We have the 1 o'clock lecture, and then we'll also have a community chiropractic as well. If now that we have members of the dojo coming on a regular basis, we can also work in Aikido, not today, but we'll start doing it Sunday now that there's regulars that are coming. Anyone who's interested in joining the Aikido dojo, you're more than welcome to meet every Tuesday, and we will start meeting on Sundays if there are enough people to practice as well. So, thank you very much. Does anyone have any announcements, anything that they would like to share with the song? All right, thank you all very much. Sorry.